Welcome back to AI Product Radar. Today, we are going to compare 5 of the most popular AI coding tools right now: Cursor, Claude Code, GitHub Copilot, Windsurf, and Replit Agent. And I think this is one of the most important AI product categories to understand because AI coding tools are no longer just autocomplete tools. A few years ago, when people talked about AI coding, they mostly meant, can this tool suggest the next few lines of code? But now the market has changed. Today, these tools can understand a code base, edit multiple files, explain errors, generate tests, refactor code, help build apps, and in some cases even run tasks more like an engineering agent. So the question is no longer just which AI coding tool writes the best code. The better question is which AI coding tool is best for your workflow. Because Cursor, Claude Code, GitHub Copilot, Windsurf, and Replit Agent are not really the same product. Cursor is more like an AI native code editor. Claude Code is more like a powerful terminal-based coding agent. GitHub Copilot is more like the mainstream enterprise coding assistant. Windsurf is another AI-first editor with strong agentic features. And Replit Agent is more like an idea-to-app builder, especially useful for beginners, students, indie hackers, and people who want to build without managing a complicated local setup. So in this video, I'll compare these 5 tools based on who they are best for, what they are good at, what their weaknesses are, and how I would personally think about choosing one. Let's start with Cursor. Cursor is probably the most famous AI native coding editor right now. The reason Cursor became so popular is simple. It fits directly into how developers already work. It feels familiar because it is very close to the VS Code experience, but it adds AI deeply into the editor. You can chat with your codebase, ask it to modify files, use autocomplete, make multi-file changes, and increasingly use more agentic features. That combination is powerful because it does not force developers to completely change their habits. You still open your project. You still edit files. You still review code. But now, the AI is sitting inside the workflow. From a business perspective, Cursor's growth has been remarkable. Reports in 2026 said Cursor's annualized revenue had crossed the $2 billion mark, which shows how much demand there is for AI coding tools. Cursor's pricing also gives us a sense of where the market is going. Its official pricing page lists a free hobby plan, a Pro plan at $20 per month, Pro Plus at $60 per month, Ultra at $200 per month, and a Teams plan at $40 per user per month. That means AI coding is moving beyond the old $20 per month for everything model. Serious users may pay more because the tool can save real engineering time. So who is Cursor best for? I would say Cursor is best for developers who want an AI-first editor and are comfortable working inside a local codebase. If you're already using VS Code, Cursor is easy to understand. If you work on multi-file projects, Cursor can be very helpful. If you want AI to understand more context from your project and help you make changes across files, Cursor is one of the strongest options. But Cursor is not perfect. The first weakness is that you still need to know what you are doing. Cursor can generate code quickly, but more code does not always mean better software. You still need to review the output, understand architecture, check edge cases, and test carefully. There is also growing research showing that AI IDEs can produce working projects, but design quality can still be an issue, especially in larger systems. One 2026 paper specifically studied Cursor-generated large-scale projects and focused on design issues beyond just whether the code functionally works. That is a very important point. AI coding tools can help you go faster, but they do not remove the need for engineering judgment. So my simple take on Cursor is this. If you're a serious developer and want an AI native editor for daily coding, Cursor is probably one of the first tools you should try. Next, let's talk about Claude Code. Claude Code is different from Cursor because it is not mainly about giving you another editor. It is more of a terminal-based coding assistant or coding agent. You use Claude Code from your command line, and it can help inspect your project, edit files, run commands, debug problems, and reason through larger tasks. This makes it especially interesting for developers who already live in the terminal. And even though many people already know Claude Code, I still think it belongs in this comparison because it represents one of the strongest examples of the coding agent direction. Anthropic's own Max Plan page says the Claude Max Plan combines Claude apps and Claude Code in one subscription, with Max 5X priced at $100 per month and Max 20X priced at $200 per month. That pricing tells us something important. Advanced AI coding is expensive to run, and the market is moving toward higher price plans for power users. So who is Claude Code best for? I think Claude Code is best for experienced developers who want a more agentic coding partner and do not mind working from the command line. It can be especially useful for debugging, refactoring, understanding unfamiliar code bases, writing tests, and making larger changes where you want the model to reason through the task. One reason people like Claude Code is that Claude models often feel strong at reasoning and explaining. For complex code tasks, that can matter a lot. But there are trade-offs. First, Claude Code may be less beginner-friendly than something like Replit Agent. Second, because it can operate across your project, you need to be careful. You should check what it changed. You should use version control. And you should avoid blindly accepting large modifications. Third, cost and usage limits can matter. If you use it heavily, you may need a higher subscription tier. So my take is, Claude Code is not necessarily the best first coding tool for everyone. But for power users, it can be extremely useful. If Cursor is an AI native editor, Claude Code is more like an AI engineer sitting in your terminal. Now let's talk about GitHub Copilot. GitHub Copilot is the most mainstream tool in this list. It has been around longer than many of the newer AI coding tools, and it has a major advantage. It is deeply connected to GitHub, VS Code, and the Microsoft developer ecosystem. For many companies, that matters a lot. A startup founder might choose the tool that feels most powerful. But a large company may care about security, admin controls, billing, policy management, and integration with existing workflows. This is where Copilot is strong. According to GitHub's official documentation, Copilot has several plans, including Copilot Free for individual developers, as well as paid plans for individuals, businesses, and enterprises. GitHub also says it is moving Copilot from request-based billing to usage-based billing starting June 1st, 2026. That billing change is important because it reflects the broader market shift. Copilot is no longer just an autocomplete tool. It now includes chat, code review, agentic workflows, and more advanced model usage. And as tools become more agentic, the cost of running them depends more on actual usage. So who is GitHub Copilot best for? I would say Copilot is best for mainstream developers, professional teams, and enterprises that want a safer default choice. It may not always feel as exciting as Cursor or Claude Code, but it has a big advantage in adoption and integration. If your team already uses GitHub and VS Code, Copilot is easy to roll out. If your company wants centralized controls, Copilot is easier to justify. If you're a developer who wants helpful AI assistance without changing your full workflow, Copilot is a very practical choice. But Copilot also has weaknesses. For individual power users, it may feel less aggressive or less agentic than Cursor or Claude Code. Some developers may feel that Copilot is great for suggestions and routine coding, but not always the most exciting tool for large autonomous changes. Also, as pricing moves toward usage-based billing, teams will need to pay more attention to cost control, model selection, and how developers use premium features. So my take on Copilot is this. It may not be the flashiest option, but it is probably the most enterprise-friendly option. If you work at a company and need something reliable, governable, and integrated with GitHub, Copilot is hard to ignore. Now, let's move to Windsurf. Windsurf is interesting because it competes more directly with Cursor. Like Cursor, Windsurf is an AI coding environment. It is designed to make AI part of the development workflow, not just a small add-on. Its core assistant, Cascade, is built around understanding context and helping with changes across a project. Windsurf also has its own pricing structure, with the official pricing page listing a free plan, Pro at $20 per month, Max at $200 per month, Teams at $40 per user per month, and enterprise pricing by sales contact. So if you look at pricing alone, Windsurf is clearly targeting the same serious AI coding market as Cursor. Why would someone choose Windsurf over Cursor? I think the biggest reason is workflow preference. Some people prefer Cursor's interface and ecosystem. Others may prefer Windsurf's cascade experience and how it handles context, planning, and multi-step tasks. Windsurf can be attractive if you want an AI-first coding editor, but also want to try an alternative to Cursor. It is also useful for developers who want strong agentic features in an editor-like environment, rather than working mostly in the terminal like Claude Code. But the weakness is that Windsurf is in a very competitive space. Cursor has massive mindshare. Copilot has enterprise distribution. Claude Code has strong model perception and terminal workflows. Replit has the beginner and deployment angle. So Windsurf needs to win by being smoother, more reliable, or better for certain workflows. My take is, Windsurf is absolutely worth trying if you're comparing AI IDEs. But I would not choose it just because it is another AI coding tool. I would choose it if its workflow feels better for your daily development style. Now let's talk about Replit Agent. Replit Agent is very different from the other tools. Cursor, Claude Code, Copilot, and Windsurf are mostly designed for people who are already coding or working in a software development workflow. Replit Agent is more focused on helping you go from idea to app. That makes it especially interesting for beginners, students, indie builders, non-technical founders, and people who want to prototype quickly without setting up a local development environment. With Replit, you can build in a browser, use the AI agent, collaborate, and deploy. That full environment matters because many beginners do not want to deal with local setup, package installation, hosting, databases, or deployment issues. Replit's official pricing page lists a free starter plan, a core plan at $20 per month when billed annually, and a pro plan at $95 per month when billed annually. The core plan includes $25 of monthly credits, while pro includes $100 of monthly credits. That credit-based structure also tells us something about the product. Replit Agent is not just a simple assistant. It is doing work that consumes AI and infrastructure resources. So who is Replit Agent best for? I would say Replit Agent is best for people who want to build something quickly without becoming experts in the full software development toolchain. For example, if you're a student building a project, a founder testing an idea, a creator making a simple tool, or a business person trying to prototype an internal app, Replit Agent may be more approachable than Cursor or Claude Code. You can describe what you want, iterate, and deploy inside the same environment. But Replit Agent also has limitations. For complex professional software development, experienced engineers may prefer their own local setup, their own editor, their own terminal, their own deployment pipeline, and their own architecture choices. Also, if you're building something serious, you still need to understand security, data handling, scalability, and code quality. So my take is, Replit Agent is probably not the best choice for every professional engineering team, but it may be the best choice for beginners and fast prototyping. Now that we have looked at all five, let's compare them directly. If you're a professional developer and you want the best AI native coding editor, I would start with Cursor. If you're a power user who likes terminal workflows and wants deep reasoning across a code base, I would try Claude Code. If you work in a larger company and care about enterprise adoption, governance, GitHub integration, and team rollout, GitHub Copilot is probably the safest option. If you want an AI-first coding editor and you're deciding between alternatives to Cursor, Windsurf is absolutely worth testing. And if you're a beginner, student, founder, or non-traditional developer who wants to go from idea to deployed app, Replit Agent may be the most approachable choice. But here is the most important point. Do not choose based only on hype. Choose based on workflow. Ask yourself, do I want to stay inside an editor? Do I prefer working from the terminal? Am I building a serious production system or a quick prototype? Am I an individual user or part of a company? Do I need enterprise controls? Do I care more about speed, accuracy, deployment, or ease of use? And how much am I willing to pay if usage increases? Those questions matter more than asking, which tool is the best overall? Because there may not be one best tool. There's only the best tool for a specific user and a specific workflow. I also want to mention one important caution. AI coding tools can make you feel much faster. And in many cases, they really do help. But speed can be dangerous if it creates code you do not understand. A 2026 study comparing AI coding agents across more than 7,000 pull requests found that performance varied by task type, and no single agent performed best across all tasks. The study found documentation tasks had higher acceptance rates than new feature tasks, and different agents performed better in different categories. That confirms what many developers already feel. AI coding tools are useful, but they are not magic. They are better for some tasks than others. They may be great for boilerplate, tests, documentation, refactoring, and explaining code. They may be less reliable for architecture decisions, security-sensitive changes, complex business logic, or tasks where requirements are unclear. So the best way to use these tools is not to turn off your brain. The best way is to use them like a powerful assistant. Let the AI draft. Let explore. Let explain. Let propose changes. But you still review. You still test. You still think. That is how you get the benefit without creating a mess. So here is my final recommendation. For most professional developers, I would compare Cursor and Claude Code first. For enterprise teams, I would seriously consider GitHub Copilot. For people who want to test an AI editor alternative, try Windsurf. For beginners and builders who want to create and deploy quickly, try Replit Agent. And if you're serious about AI coding, you may eventually use more than one. For example, you might use Cursor as your main editor, Claude Code for deeper terminal-based tasks, and GitHub Copilot if your company provides it. The AI coding market is not settled yet. It is changing very quickly. But one thing is clear. Coding is becoming one of the first areas where AI agents are genuinely useful. Not perfect, not fully autonomous, but genuinely useful. And that is why these tools are worth watching. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found this comparison helpful, please like this video and subscribe to AI Product Radar. On this channel, we will continue exploring new AI products, useful AI tools, product comparisons, startup stories, and market trends. Also, leave a comment and let me know which AI coding tool you're using right now. Cursor, Claude Code, Copilot, Windsurf, Replit Agent, or something else. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you have a great day.